everyone. A very happy evening to all. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Alaginila Meghanathan and I am one of the organizers for Microsoft Geeks community. Let me introduce myself. I am a Microsoft MVP for Microsoft Azure category. I am the founder and CEO of Innovatry Technologies India Private Limited. I would like to welcome to our keynote speaker for the webinar series, co-organizer and dear participants. We all need your support to make this event fantastic. The aim of this webinar series is to create an opportunity for learning the technology from scratch. So with the help of our 8 elegant Microsoft MVPs, we are going to organize this mega virtual event on Learn with Microsoft MVPs on every Saturday at this time. Hearty thanks to all the Microsoft MVPs for accepting our invitation. So I would like to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Deepak Rajendran, influencer leader from Microsoft. So thank you for accepting our request, sir. So now I hand over the mic to him. Please continue, sir.
Great. Thanks, Nila. Thanks all the organizers of this wonderful event. And for all the attendees, sorry about the slightly delayed start. We had a little bit of a technical hassle with a couple of our speakers joining in, but I appreciate your patience in hanging there. So thanks for all the support. So first and foremost, I think it must have taken a lot for you to take out time on your Saturday evening and log in to learn more about technologies. It must take some amount of sacrifice from you, from your personal lives and your weekend plans. So thank you for doing that. From our side, we'll promise you that it'll be worth your while, and you will not regret taking time out. So the real technical speaker for your session today is going to follow me in a few minutes. But my objective today is to very quickly remind you of why you're here, right? Now it might seem very very cliched, but sometimes we'll end up doing things without really stopping and reflecting why we're doing. And usually when I attend community meetings, I make it a point to stop and remind people as to why they do it, because I think the power of community is realized when you really know what the advantage you're getting out of being in a community. Usually I make this an interactive session, but I think Teams Live has limited interaction capabilities, so I'm going to, I'm just going to paraphrase things that I usually ask. So, what is a community, right? A community is essentially a bunch of people who share a common interest, right? A bunch of people who all have the same kind of passion and love towards a particular thing, right? In this particular example, that's Microsoft technologies, right? You're here because you want to learn something about Microsoft technologies. Now, why is this important and why is this different? Because at the end of the day, you're here learning a new technology. There are hundreds of other ways for you to do it, right? You can take a self-paced learning course from any of your online websites. You could talk to people who you know and get some download from them. You could read a book. Why being a part of a community so special, right? The real reason is everybody on this meeting today and in all the future meetings from now on, everybody who's logged into the meeting is going to have the same level of passion and interest in this technology like you are, right? And that's a beautiful energy in the group, right? Think about the last time that happened. I think a lot of you are from academia, right? So think of your classroom at college, right? Every single one of you, despite being from different places, coming from different backgrounds, having all your differences aside, you're there for a common interest. You're there for a common passion, right? The community is actually an extension of that, right? Now, for the folks who are actually still in academia and haven't come out into the industry, it may not seem very evident to you yet. But for people who are in the industry, I'm sure you'll agree that we don't get that opportunity anymore. Right? When you walk into an office floor, you're going to find people with varied interests and varied responsibilities. And more often than not, you don't get time to connect with your passion, right? So the community is actually a way for you to pause what you're doing and focus on your passion and bring your attention back to where your heart is, right? And there's a certain beauty in it because, you think about the cup of coffee you have every day, right? So you have coffee every day, right? But when you land up having a cup of coffee with a bunch of your friends from college. The feeling is different, right? It's because the energy that is created by having those people who share a common interest, who share a common passion, or who know you, who are there for the same reasons that you are there, actually brings about a certain beautiful energy in the way you guys engage. And that is exactly what we're trying to enable through these communities. Now, that said, what are the advantages of coming here? Like I told you, I promised you that it'll be worth your while for taking a time out from your weekend and coming here. The first and foremost thing is the learning experience that you're going to get here is very different from the kind of learning experience you'll get in any of the other channels. And I'll promise you that, because here are a bunch of people who are not professional trainers. They were like you, right? Who just went and tried something, and their ability to explain this technology to you is going to be a lot more different. I mean, think about your own experiences, right? When you have that little doubt, when you have that little confusion, you pick up your phone and call your friend, right? You ask them, say, hey, I seem to have this problem. What do you think? Why? It's not because you don't believe your other lecturers or your guides. It's because the chances of your friend also having faced that same problem is much higher, right? And your friend also would have faced it and found a solution for it. So it's simpler for you to get that solution from your friend. This is a forum that's going to enable hundreds of such friends for you, right? So the kind of learning experience that you're going to get by being with them is going to be very different. However, that will not be evident unless you continue on this journey. If you're looking at this event as just one meeting or just one session, and if you just think that, hey, this is a topic that's of interest to me, I'm just going to attend this, and everything else is not of interest to me. Well, it's not a bad thing entirely. I mean, you're still going to get anything that you need from that one session, but you're certainly going to miss the advantage of being in the community, because being in the community is like being in a journey, right? It's the difference between attending a special class versus attending a full-fledged academic year in college, right? So the power of a community is only realized when you stay there, right, for the long term. So make it a point to keep in touch with this group. Make it a point to continue on this journey. Make it a point to make it a priority to be a part of this larger community, right? And not just with this particular group, right? Not just with this particular initiative. Look around you. Find communities. Go to meetups.com. Look on other social channels that you have. Look up user groups in your local cities. Find areas where you can hang out with people who share the same love that you are. There's a beautiful power in doing that. It could help you it could help you stay in touch with what's the latest in technology, sometimes better than what you can even get from other sources. It can help you have someone who you can reach out to in case you need something on an emergency basis. It can help you find the next course that you need to do, or the kind of skilling up that you need to do to find your next job. So I think there's a lot of other benefits of being with people who share your common passion, right? Now, with that, I think I'll just spend a minute about why these wonderful people who are going to be talking to you over the next few weeks are doing it, and why Microsoft calls them as MVPs. So, like the way you guys are here to be to be taught something and to learn something interesting, these bunch of people were also once upon a time very eager to come and learn technology, but they didn't stop there, right? So they went and learned the technology themselves, and then they went out and started sharing that technology with other people. None of these people here who are going to be talking to you are professional trainers, right? They're not here because they're getting paid for it, or they're not here because Microsoft is paying them for it. They're here because they just love talking to you about the technology. They learned the technology because they were in love with it, and they want to share that technology with you because they still love sharing the technology with you, right? And that's a beautiful opportunity for you to hear from someone who doesn't have any vested interests. But needless to say, that's like a thankless job, right? Because if you guys have taken your Saturday evening out to come and attend this, these people probably took out a couple of more weekends to actually organize this event itself, right? And as the company that built the software, as Microsoft, we just want to thank them for what they're doing. And that's why we awarded them as the MVPs, or the most valuable professionals, in recognition of all the amazing work that they do. This is not the only community activity that they're doing. They also run meetups in their respective cities. Some of them write some really popular blogs. Some of them are actually accomplished learning partners in some reputed organizations. So they come from a variety of things. They do different things for a day's job. Yet whenever they get free time, they take time out to make sure that people like you get access to the technologies that you love learning. And this is our way of recognizing them and thanking them. And that's why they've been called out as most valuable professionals. We have about roughly 82 MVPs in India, about 2,900 all around the world. You can find more details about them on mvp.microsoft.com. And if any of you are wondering how can you become one, the trick is simple. Just do what they're doing. While you are actually picking up good technology skills yourself, make it a point to also share. Right? When you share technology, when you share your knowledge, surprisingly it doubles. And that's a beautiful side effect of actually doing it. Besides the personal satisfaction that you get for having taught someone something new. Right. So my kind request to you is thank you for being here today, but make sure that you're here a part of this journey. That will be worthwhile for your investment. Feel free to ask questions. There's another thing that I keep telling people: there is no such a thing as stupid question. There's a reason why the MVPs are starting from a very, very basic level, because we are assuming that people are here with a fresh slate and want to start learning something. So if you start learning something, you should be bold enough to ask those questions. There is nothing wrong in asking a question. It's just that you know something and you don't know something, right? So when you don't know something, go ahead and ask the questions. Nobody here will judge you, I promise you that. And you will actually land up clarifying your questions, right? So ask the questions that you need. Keep in touch with people, figure out ways to stay in touch with this larger group, even outside these meetings, and pick up resources and basically stay as a part of the journey, right? We are really here to try and help you. With that, I'll leave you to the technical session. I think we are right on cue to take on the technology session from Gautam. I'll hand it back to Alagnila, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. We'll be more than happy to help you. Happy learning, guys. Nila, back to you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Really, you are sorry. Yes. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom, sir. Your thoughts was full of enthusiasm and valuable knowledge. And thank you for accepting our request in your busy schedule. And your speech really motivated us.
I love it.
So once again,
sorry, ma'am. Actually, before that, Deepak, only one question asking on people.
Sure.
So sorry to ask, what is the mean of MVPs?
MVP. Okay. So
yes,
like I said, think of let me call out some names here, right? So you probably heard Alagnila speak, right? And you heard Anbu, who's been on chat with you. So these are the people who are actually organizing this meeting, right? And then you have Gautam, who's actually talking to you about a topic today. Now, none of these people are being paid by Microsoft to come and do this, right? These are all people who are doing different things in life. Alagnila runs a company of her own. Anbu is a senior software engineer in one of the companies. So is Gautam. They are happily employed and they have a different day's job. Yet, whenever they get free time, they actually make it a point to come back and contribute to the community, right? And they could contribute through multiple ways. They can contribute as blogs. They could come back and speak like what they're doing today. They could organize webinars, a whole bunch of things, right? It's really left to them. So we found that there are a whole bunch of people like them who are really passionate about what they're doing, right? And they're passionate about learning technology themselves, and they're passionate about sharing the technology with other people as well. And we wanted to do something, and when I say we, Microsoft, the company, we wanted to do something to thank them because they were really passionate advocates of our technology, right? So as the people who built that technology, we wanted to thank them for what they're doing, for all the amazing work that they're doing, because they really have no need to do it, and yet they're doing it, right? So that's why we came up with this program called as the MVP program. The full form of the program is Most Valuable Professional. It's an honorary title. Think of it as a thank you that we give to these wonderful people. It's meant to make them feel good for what they're doing. But apart from that, it's also a one-year program where they engage with us and we connect them with our product teams and they participate in our product development as well. They get access to our roadmaps. They work with our product teams on ensuring that the community feedback is factored in the product. So think of them as premium advocates who have access to our product teams directly. So it's a program meant for people like these who are outstanding community leaders. And like I said, if they are MVPs today, so can each one of you who are attending this call today. But obviously, you'll have a journey from here to becoming a community leader. And the way you do it is simple. Just as much as you learn the technology, the moment you know that you're good in something, please go back and share that back to the technology. That's what makes you an MVP. So like I said, if you need to know more about this program, you can go to mvp.microsoft.com. Everything regarding the program is mentioned there. And if you have any more questions, you can feel free to reach out to any of these organizers, or you can write to me as well. My email ID is, you probably have seen my full name there. So my email ID is my first name dot last name @microsoft.com. So feel free to write it, and I'll be more than happy to explain the program in detail to you.
Yes.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you very much.
Happy. My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you very.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good session, and I look forward to talking to all of you soon. Okay, happy learning.